Rock bottle on the track, boy.
And so this specific one, it's registered in 2007, but it's on a 56 plate. It's an S line, so you have the better styling pack on it. It's got side steps. Normal standard alloys are normally on these 20-inch. This one is upgraded to 21. It's got privacy glass, wind deflectors fitted to it as well. It is a pre-facelift. Obviously on the facelift you get the upgraded LED rear lights, you get the upgraded headlights at the front, and then they also put in an 8-speed gearbox. This one is on a 6-speed 3-litre diesel pulling 232. Facelift pulls 245. But really, apart from that, there isn't any really major differences. Slightly changed the interior just a little bit, just by changing the MMI system, changing the steering wheel on it as well. Apart from that, effectively the same car. I mean, this one runs up to 2009, then it's facelifted. Facelift runs up to 2014, so theoretically you could really just put a private plate on it if you got a facelift one, and no one would be able to tell the difference. Interior wise, multifunction steering wheel. This one's got flappy paddles. That's the MMI screen. Heated seats on this one. Like I said, it is S-line, but this one also comes with a pan roof. Pan roof is split 3 ways, so you see the split there, and then for the extra 2 seats in the back, they've got their own roof as well, and there's more controls in the back as well. Audi's Quattro system. These do come pretty well spec, but it's surprising not all of them have heated seats, which you'd think would be standard on a car of this size. And obviously when these were new, obviously talking a lot of money as well. Standard they are 7 seats, which is obviously a bonus compared to, like, for example, the BMW X5. Alright people, welcome back to another review, and today we've got the Audi Q7. This is the 2000, this is on a 56 plate, but it's registered 2007. So it's one of the first ones, because this shape starts in 2006, runs to 2009, gets facelifted, and then that shape runs till 2014, and then they changed it again. But really, from 2006 2009 and then the facelift ones, there's not much difference. The only thing they changed really, you get newer lights, you get new LED lights on the facelift model, you get a better looking steering wheel, and you get an 8-speed gearbox, which that's a bonus really. But they do fetch a lot more money than facelift ones. Even the current market, they're fetching a lot. Yeah, the facelift ones, they're fetching a lot of money. And that's Audi Q7s generally though. They don't seem to lose a lot of value over the years. But I can see why. They're good, reliable cars. They're perfect for a family. They come 7-seater as standard. And for your money's worth, you get a bit of tech. Obviously, depending on spec wise and depending on trim. Smart assist, I think they call it lane assist. So the light comes up on the wing mirrors to let you know there's something in your blind spot, which I think is a pretty handy feature, because nobody sees that a lot more modern cars, and obviously this is what I'm talking about, 13, 14 years old now, so it was ahead of its time. I mean, drive wise, I love them. I've got a few of these and I love them. I mean, compared to an X5 does feel sportier, it does feel a bit more responsive, but just to cruise around in, I think I'd be in the Q7 for a longer journey. It's just more spacious, feels bigger, and really it just glides along the road. It's got a massive road presence. You'll start to notice these cars tend to give you way a bit more as you're going down the road, because they know the size of that car should take priority. I mean, gearbox and engine wise, they normally are pretty bulletproof, these 3-litre Audi engines. You don't see a lot of cases, you don't see a lot of reports by people saying their engine or gearbox has failed on them on the Q7. Well, not in my experience anyway. I haven't seen many of them. I don't know about you guys, but if you do, please say in the comments. I'd love to read your guys' experiences with these. But like I said, this is a pre-facelift, but I know you can buy kits to facelift the car. I've had one of these in the past which has the facelifted lights and bumpers on. I mean, chuck a private plate on it, no one's going to be able to tell the difference. People will think it's just a 14 plate. No one will know. So in the pre-facelift, it is a 6-speed gearbox, which is smooth, changes gears when you want it to, you know, hasn't caused me any issues, and I do enjoy driving these. Reliability wise, as I said, normally the engine gearbox is pretty solid. If anything, the things you need to be wary of, this is on air suspension, and there have been, you know, I've seen numerous cases where airbags tend to fail, the motors, the pumps start to fail, and they can get pretty expensive. And if you leave one issue for too long, it tends to sag overnight, and then normally that takes its toll on the compressor as well. So then you could end up with 2 big bills instead of just the one. So it's always best to get it checked out as soon as possible if you start to see your air suspension light pop up. Apart from that, I mean, you get things with these do come with an automatic closing boot as well. Sometimes they tend to fail, so it won't automatically open. You'll have to manually push it up. That's the same with the closing feature, it won't close. You'll manually have to bring it down. Or sometimes if it does close, it won't latch properly. And then that can either be the motors in your boot, it could be the boot lock, it could be the mechanism where it latches onto. So it could be a range of things. But again, it's just a niggly feature, it's not something major. It's not something that is going to set your loads back, it's something that can be fixed. Apart from that, you don't see a lot of things failing on these. I mean, there's a few stories about starter motors and alternators, but they just wear and tear bits. I mean, they're not the most expensive parts on a car like this, but that's the thing, when you buy a car like this and you spend that much money, you have to be expected for big bills as well. You have to have deeper pockets when you drive bigger cars, and if you're worried about running costs, then the car isn't really for you. If you're worried about maintenance costs, then again, the car really isn't for you. But when you go and look at one, obviously just make sure it's got good paperwork with it, that it drives fine, that it's because it's on air suspension, the height is adjustable, so you can put it in different modes. If you go and look at one, make sure you put it in each mode and make sure the car's doing what it's meant to be doing. But yeah, reliability wise, they are meant to be pretty solid, but obviously if you're concerned about maintenance costs, then normally Audi parts in general are cheap, but obviously in a car of this size, they won't be cheap. Running wise, like current MPG for me personally, I am getting, let's have a look, I'm getting 23 MPG, which is, it's a mixture of motorway and city, mainly city, but it's manageable. It's not the heaviest, it is manageable. It's very similar to an X5, that was the same for me. I mean, on a long run, you can hit about 35, between 35 to 40, depending on how you drive. But in the city, you're looking, I would say between 20 and 24, if that. So that's one thing to consider as well. I mean, it doesn't come with Bluetooth for music, well, not in this one. I know some do if they have the module fitted, but I heard it can be retrofitted. But this one has a colour display. I know some come without the colour display. You get your infotainment system, your trip computer, you get multifunctional steering wheel. This one comes with flappy paddles as well. This one's got reverse sensors, front sensors, but it hasn't got the reverse camera. So obviously just do your spec checks on the ones you buy and just see what gadgets you guys get with yours. But yeah, I mean, they're good to drive, feel good to be in, and I like them. I mean, compared to a Mercedes ML, I'd rather have an Audi Q7. I feel the ML interior feels outdated, and it just doesn't feel as good to be in compared to a Q7. Because obviously the bonus for most people is a 7-seater. X5 is an optional extra, and to be honest, X5 here on the inside doesn't give you a lot for your money compared to a Q7. I feel that's why a lot of people tend to go for a Q7. Same with an ML, I feel that interior doesn't give you